everyone, Richard Carlton. Welcome to the awesome day of FileMaker training. I am super caffeinated. So today is a good day for you folks to ask open-ended questions. In the event that your questions get AI-ish, I'm gonna lean on Margaret to help me with that. If it's super crazy, we'll shelve it for later. If you got server questions, we have the super amazing Jacob Taylor who's here to backstop my my server questions and answers. However, as a 35-year developer, I know most of the important questions and answers. If I get nervous, that'll be Jacob's cool. If he asks me a question, I start going like this. Oh, like Rodney Dangerfield, I can get no respect, start sweating. That's Jacob's clue to jump in and to help save the conversation. So, but he is here. We have some canned questions already that came up on the internet recently for people who had problems in FileMaker. Today's a little bit kind of a Jeopardy flavor of stuff, so I'm going to move myself over here. Here are the topics for today. Unclean shutdown, okay? And these are all inspired by the questions that have come to us. So then we have some schema questions. We got monkey spread and Claris or Clarice. So these are all the topics that we have for today. So we're going to take unclean shutdowns for $200, Alex. So here's your question. Top audiences asked a question. Oh, wait, that's Family Feud. Sorry, we don't want to do that one. How can I stop FileMaker files from loading ridiculously slow after an unclean close? Jacob Taylor.
It's gonna be a Family Feud in a minute asking a question like that.
Yeah, that's what Margaret said. Oh man, you're gonna be all lathered up. So what this person did, it's like when SpaceX has a rocket and they do test rockets and it blows up. They call that unscheduled rapid disassembly. Okay, a unclean close means you crashed the out of your FileMaker database. Now, what is crashing a FileMaker file? Let's just be super clear about that. A FileMaker file is an FMP12 file. Here's Yellow Dog FMP12 file. If we open up the Yellow Dog FMP12 file here, and if I tell FileMaker to force quit, if I quit right now, FileMaker Pro is running this FMP12 file on this computer's hard drive. Okay. So this file was not closed cleanly. It was an unclean close with questionable ethics involved, okay? Now, if this file is running on the FileMaker server, the FileMaker server is managing the FMP12 file. So if I log on to, over here, I log on to a database that's on a stream server like this one over here. And so now we have a copy of starting point. Where is the FMP12 file? Is it on my computer? No, it's on the FileMaker server. Margaret had a question about this earlier. She wasn't totally clear on this. So I am using this through the internet, through the network, to a FileMaker server. It manages the health and safety of the FMP12 file. If I force FileMaker to quit right now, did I crash the file or did an unclean close? No, because FileMaker server goes, oh, this person just unexpectedly disconnected. Fine. But I am in charge of protecting this file, and screw you, I'm going to protect this file. We protect it. It's safe. And if you were in the middle of doing something and it was partially completed, it's going to unwind it and protect that file. That's why we use FileMaker Server so much. It protects the file from people disconnecting or people who crash it, but they don't want to say the crash word because the crash word leads to the word corrupted and damaged. So we say the word unclean shutdown in the hopes of no one else knowing what we just did, okay? Right? So that's kind of an important thing. So the question is what's the question? So Jacob, if you want to handle this part, I'm going to throw this one to you. If someone does an unclean close on a locally hosted file, or they're on a FileMaker server that does an unclean close or shutdown, that means the FileMaker server died. The file, the software that was managing the FMP12 file did not shut down correctly. That FMP12 file might be damaged. So why might it be slow? Mr. Taylor.
Because it's running a consistency check to try and see how broke as hell the file is.
Or if it's broke at all, right? And once again, that's one of those sort of things we don't really know. We had a person email us this last week saying, hey, I don't know the backstory on them, but they're saying, hey, I've got damage in the file and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and probably because it's on their local computer and they're crashing it. You don't have too many people well, that's not true. You do have some people who will endlessly crash their FileMaker server but it's more common to see that with people running a local database. A lot of you on the live stream run local databases, fine, but don't crash your FileMaker file. And if you're going to use it and you use a crash file, eventually this is going to be potentially damaged. So what you want to do is duplicate it, use a copy, or close it down, make sure it's in good shape, duplicate it, keep a copy in a folder called, backups. That's your backup. You don't do it while it's running, do it while it's not running. Put it in there, keep it there. Put the date on it, I don't care. Run this one. If it crashes, throw this one in the trash, go get the last one out of here, drag it, option drag it, or whatever you do in Windows, drag it out of here, make a copy. But always keep at least a backup. That's locally. If you're on FileMaker Server, it does this automatically for you. Okay. So yeah, it's doing a consistency check. So it's like having a car crash and then you get out of the car to look at the damage. Mm-hmm. Like how many people crash the car and then don't give a shit at all?
That's correct. It's getting out and taking photos of it.
Taking photos of the car crash.
It doesn't do anything. People are like, oh, it's okay, it passed. No. All it means is that the actual structure, this is ignoring the records, the important part of your business data, the thing that you're actually looking at, only it will tell you, or it will only yell if there's like gross illegality levels of corruption in the structure of the file. Like that's it. That's all.
Where it can't continue. It can't continue. Yeah. It doesn't.
Like it knows in advance it's that broke. That's when it will fully just halt you and complain and say, basically, nope, I don't want to open this file. I'm uncomfortable with it. That's it. That's all it tells you. This also is why RCC's advice for well longer than I've ever even worked here is always restore to a backup. Always. And that it's you could all available luck and good preparation and fast computers and all the records were committed and it happened at 3 a.m. when nobody was on the there's all those that you could construct a very narrow scenario where the crash was fine basically. It's just not in practice because if literally any of those things isn't true, and in none of our customers, like all of our customer servers, there's always some other thing going wrong. You don't get that. You don't have the perfect crash scenario. I actually had somebody email me with one of those recently. From everything I could tell with the file, it looked fine. Honestly, I think FileMaker Server did a bang up job. It was, it was outside of business hours.
I remember that. Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. Like the file, honestly, it looked like again, always restore to a backup. That's always going to be the advice. But just you look at all available details and everything we could figure out, and it was like, the risk is non-zero, but it's really close to zero. Okay. But that's a situation where we have sat down and done a complete incident response to come to that conclusion. Also, if you're not doing that when your FileMaker server goes down, you should just be restoring to backup. You should do that procedurally without asking questions, actually. Because if you're not, again, doing a full incident response, restore to a backup. Just don't have, your questions are, what's the first backup before it broke?
Yeah,
do that
and
one.
Sometimes it will crash in the middle of that or right after the backups. The first backups
and you
got to
go the one before it.
You got the one before that, but if you're running backups like the way we do, it'll be every 30 minutes or something. You might lose 30 minutes of data. For some companies, that's unacceptable, in which case that's where you're going to want to use the new FileMaker 26 amazing features for next year, whatever they come out with. Mirror
you mean
server.
The new stuff?
Yeah, the new stuff that we don't have yet.
So this specific scenario I'm talking about, where there was in air quotes, theoretically perfect crash, definitely doesn't exist. That customer server had all of the automatic rebuild stuff turned on, which the old version of that was startup restoration, which we hate because it would destroy the file.
Yeah,
the new version is called persistent cache. I've never seen it operate before, and it, again, perfect tailwind, road speed, everyone's doing great, no one's in the, it's like perfect possible scenario. It seems to have worked, but again, perfect possible scenario. We have a single observation of it running.
Okay.
I can't endorse it still.
All right. So what's the next? Where was that file at I was using? Oh, I crashed it. Where was it at? Let me see. So by the way, if you do something in FileMaker, you do like a log into a file and you come back to recents and it's not in there, the recents only get written to in the preferences there as you quit FileMaker. It's not saved if you crash FileMaker. So I don't see the file I was using a little bit ago.
We're going to wrap up the stream, everybody. We hope you've had a good one. Q&As are fun.
All right, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.